Making SaaS in 2025 is not an easy task anymore. Vibe coding kills so many low-hanging fruits while indie developers switch to full-time jobs. But we're here to stay, earn some money, and solve people's problem. In today's episode, we will rebuild our financial API, run Google Ads, measure its performance, spoiler that was a disaster, and try to reach out to our users for the first time and sell them our new feature. And in the end, we will see how much revenue we were able to add from all these actions. This is my new channel, and I will appreciate if you like this video and subscribe to my channel because it really matters a lot. My goal is 100 subscribers. Let's make it happen. For those who don't know me, Roic AI is a financial data website that I made in 2023 after studying for CFA exam. You know, this kind of exam where you study for a year to be able to be the next Warren Buffett or at least to secure a position at Wendy's. At first, I didn't want to make a business from it. I wanted to make something useful for myself. Then COVID came in and I needed some money. So I decided to implement premium subscription. We have two types of subscriptions, individual and professional, with the API available only for pro users. The problem is we have ultra low amount of pro users because in the beginning we decided to create a Bloomberg compatible API with 500 parameters and its own query language. You could ask, why would we do it? That's a very good question that I asked myself only 3 months later after seeing no one really uses it, and on one Sunday morning I decided that's enough. I need to rebuild the API completely, and first thing I did is I moved away from query language to the classic REST API endpoints. The query language was really cumbersome and even I didn't use it except for testing purposes, which is completely crazy. And since our internal API already uses Python, we'll continue using it. Let's create a new file with endpoints and start documenting what we need. The main pillars are company data, financial data, and stock prices. All the rest we can delegate to the Cloud Code in a plan mode and ask to take a look at our database schema and search the web for the most common API endpoints that people need. Speaking of Cloud Code, I barely use it to write code instead of me. What I really use it for is to be my kinda research agent. Basically, I never go out of the plan mode if it's not fixing the alignment of a div element. That thing annoys me too much to handle myself. After a full working day, the first API was ready, and now it's time to test it. This time I'm going to use K6, the tool that can simulate many users on your website simultaneously, and trigger an email from your hosting provider asking what's going on and why you DDoSing them. And this is the point where everything went kinda wrong, and I think using Python wasn't the brightest idea for this task because it can't handle even 500 concurrent users without going into a timeout. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure that you can write really performant systems using Python. I'm just not super used to this language. Almost all my career I used JavaScript. That was a bad idea for me from the beginning. Recently, a guy from my team, Nick, showed me a new API library called ElysiaJS. He told me it's the best library for writing REST API. And you know, when it comes to these type of things, I'm pretty reluctant to use any new technologies or tools and usually prefer to stick to what I know well. But this one was really nice. I tried it on boilerplate and the construction structure was like a breath of fresh air. So I decided to use it for our already third version of API. And oh my god, that was a completely different picture that we see now. All requests finished correctly and there are no errors. Of course, the response time could be better, but believe me, everything will be better than the API we had before. After finishing the new API, we need to notify our users about this and maybe get some subscriptions. Logging into our feature base, a tool that we use to collect user feedback, we need to create a new changelog post where we tell honestly that the first version of API was a complete disaster and offer them to try the second one. Now we just send it and wait for the money to come in. And while we are waiting, it's a good idea to start advertising our API through Google Ads, because it doesn't show us in search by keywords like financial data API or stock API. Opening Google Ads is pretty easy, but creating the actual ad campaign became a horror story. I knew from a friend of mine the golden rule of Google Ads: say no and turn off every optimization it will offer you. Otherwise, the budget will be spent without conversions at all. But turning everything off is just part of a game, because now you drive the old mechanical Honda without brakes, because the number of toggles and inputs is just tremendous. And to solve this problem, we have actually two options. First is to find a guy, and second is try to get it done by myself. And I chose the second option. So it's time to learn some basics. We just Google some courses, select any random one, and start watching. I can't say that it was the best material in the world, but now I am ready to give Google my money and try to squeeze some subscriptions from it. Some useful hacks that I got from the course is always use an exact match for the keyword, because even in this mode, Google no longer shows you only these keywords. And because of that, we need to create a list of negative words like free, download, or discount to prevent showing it to people who don't want to pay for our service. And also using user input as a keyword helps a lot for your conversion rate. And as recommended by the guru of Google Ads, I chose to start with manual bids and put between 30 cents and $1 per click. And while we wait a bit for our campaign to pass the review process, let's go back to our email announcement of the new API. And the results are better than expected in terms of open rate and clicks. We sent the email to 16,000 users and they clicked 1,500 times. That was a success, until I saw that among all those users, no one really bought the subscription. Yes, that's not what I expected from sending an email to a stadium of people. But we don't get upset and move forward, especially since our Google Ads were approved. And here we have some news too. Positive one is we didn't exceed our budget, but the negative one is we didn't spend at all. When I decided which cost per click to set, I used the keyword planner, the Google instrument that allows you to use the competitiveness of keywords. And when I did that, my region was Spain, not the United States. So the cost per click was shown below $1. And when I changed it back, of course, I saw $4 and sometimes even $6 for some keywords. Lesson learned, bids adjusted, and now nothing stops us from earning money. By the way, while I was busy with bid strategy of Google Ads, we started getting some subscriptions from that email with API announcement. And I know that it's not many, but we added 6 monthly and 2 annual subscriptions of professional plan that gave us $1,200 of additional revenue. That's it for today's episode of Growing Roic AI. I would really appreciate your comment and subscription, and in the next video we'll continue implementing new features, see how much revenue we've got from Google Ads, and of course how much money we were able to get from all these. Thank you. It was Vlad.